I am a poet, one that just happens to write in a forest. My forest is the Rainbow Forest right here in South Charlotte, North Carolina. When I enter this forest or any other collection of trees, I never know what I'm going to write about. These aren't my words. These are the lyrics from Rainbow Forest. Chapter number 383, August 26th, 2023. I've somewhat created a new podcast that deals with the vibration of this forest right here in South Charlotte, North Carolina. There's going to come a time when all that I've experienced and or watched within this collection of trees will be lost forever. The question is where's it going to end up? So my walking way spoke to my heart. It said, share the story, then give it away. Podcast the seasons and reasons, and as selfish as it might sound to someone in the future, the poet in the forest gives them permission to reach beyond their own doubts as a writer or just someone moving through life. The podcast, when it first started out in 2023, was called Thanks for Being a Part of the Conversation. But my creative mind said, that says nothing about this forest. So I changed it to Forest Stories. See, I guess the forest wants to be heard in a way that introduces others to its amazing source of creative flow. Because one day, this guy isn't going to be available to receive what so many others have also walked with, but they haven't done anything with it. Forest Stories. The sole purpose is to help share the story of a collection of trees and everything that grew with it. If this were a human body, you would share your stories about friendships and about family events. This is part of it. Create your own forest stories, because someone in the future is going to want to know, what was it like? What did you experience? Speak to me. I'm listening. I'm Arrow. These aren't my words. These are the lyrics from Rainbow Forest.
Hey, thanks for being a part of the conversation. This is Forest Stories. I am the poet in the forest, a children's series that I penned out in the 1990s. Now, none of it would be possible if it wasn't for this forest right here in South Charlotte, North Carolina. I talk about it so much that I thought maybe it's time that you get to know what has inspired me for 30 years. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. Welcome back to the forest. Planting the 1,700 trees in the year 1997. Planning it out. It's all in the written diaries. Where it needed to be a place of growth, where there was already too much growth, I needed to have some sort of plan, and it couldn't steal from the roots of other living trees. Especially when it comes to creating the umbrellas that, in my mind, I could see them, but to a 6-inch seedling that was going into the ground, that was several years up the road. But 1,700 seedlings. Now let me be open and upfront here. 1,700 trees requires a lot of room. I only have so much of this forest. That meant, without permission, I was going to be traveling onto other people's property. The reason why any of this even started was because when I came here in 1992, this forest looked like crap. It looked like those forests they used to call acid rain forests, where everything was falling apart and not growing in proper order. They looked almost naked, destroyed. And it was like, if you have this one particular section of land and you want to plant 20 trees, then why does the other parts of the forest have to suffer? Because one particular tree farmer decided that he wanted to let his area be plentiful. Why not let it all be plentiful? So there I was, January of 1997, ordering my 1,700 tree seedlings from the state of North Carolina. And I knew that I was going to be going on to other people's property. And I knew I didn't have their permission. So I had to do secret covert operations really early in the morning and late in the afternoon and night to get those seedlings in the ground. But the thing about those seedlings is that if you've truly walked through a real authentic forest and not one designed by forest rangers and other people of science, walking on a forest floor is rugged. Oh my God, where those tree roots used to be or where they're continuing to grow, there's no soil there. Maybe there's leaves and other soot, but there's also that vacant space. That one wrong step could put you down to your ankle or put you down to your knee because everything you thought was there didn't exist. Because in an authentic forest, there's nothing out there grooming the land to make it look all Home Depot and Lowe's pretty. So that was the struggle that I had to face, is that this forest was built by man back in the early part of the 1980s. They came in with their bulldozers, they tore down those trees, and basically they buried them. That's it. Put dirt over them, buried them. Well, when the trees deteriorated, what happened? Those big old holes in the dirt that this forest farmer was going to find out in a very hard way how they existed. And the injuries that I suffered putting those trees in the ground. I can laugh about it now. But if you go back through the daily writing, which is always open for anybody to read, 1997, you will see that a vision far, far, far greater than me put those trees in the soil, or what I assumed was soil. It was a real, authentic forest floor. Hey, thanks for being a part of the conversation.